Right, Reds, let's do it. Let's break down what happened last night. Again, wow, I think we all got a big slap and a big dose of reality, didn't we, as Manchester United fans last night? So I want to talk about what Ruben Amorim said afterwards, because that is the concerning part out of all of this for me. Have you seen my vlog after the game? Well, I did my vlog about 6 minutes before the game was finishing, sat in my seat last night because I knew that this team could not do it. It was that horrible feeling. I think it was quite important to get that message across last night from where we were in the stands. If you were at the game last night, let me know what you thought of the atmosphere at Old Trafford, because that went back so far last night to the depths of despair that we were living last season. It was horrendous, the atmosphere inside Old Trafford last night, and really disappointing. That is the word, I think, that comes out more than any other. It felt like they really let the fan base down last night. It was horrible. It was a horrible game of football. And we're getting now the same stories again. We're getting people now going in and blaming Ruben Amorim. Jamie Carragher coming out after that game last night talking about Amorim again. It was the perfect response to what had been a great weekend for United. And we just ended up crapping the bed again, didn't we? That's what it was. The chance was there. What Ruben said after the game really hurt me. It hurt me as a United fan. Not in so much that he was wrong and he was having a go. It was the reality check again that really sunk in last night, I think, more than anything. We are live, so get into the live comment section. Look, before we get going, please obviously do get into the comments afterwards if you're playing catch up. Give me your thoughts on this. The dust has settled and we can look back at the game now and bring up some other points that probably got lost in the emotion and anger of what happened last night outside the stadium. But I know that there's going to be plenty of people coming in on me, Mr. Positive, we told you so's, and everything like that. I'm completely fine with that, people. I haven't got any defence at all for my team. I'm not going to try and defend anybody in this team, and I'm not going to say that anyone in this chat's coming in, even having a go at me, slagging me off for being positive and saying I told you so. I know what this team is like. Look, this is what it is with football debate. We all have it. I try to positively look at what's happening at the team all of the time. And last night, I got my real kick in the gut. It was horrible for me last night. Honestly, driving out of Old Trafford last night, it just felt so bad. And you could feel it. It's hard to put it in words, the feeling around Old Trafford last night. But everybody had it. It was a bad vibe. It was like we'd gone and forgotten everything that was good so far this season. Every little positive was completely wiped out last night. That's what it felt, and it's not. And look, in the bigger picture, it's not, and it isn't the end of the world. We'll make them points up eventually. Hopefully, we do anyway. They'll need to have a big kick up the arse this week in training, but that's just the feeling that there was there last night at Old Trafford, and that's really hard to put into words and hard to really talk about, because it is just that feeling, and that was the same as what came out of Ruben Amorim last night. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just the media, the fans. Ruben Amorim's words last night, that was where it really hit home, I think, last night. And what Laurie Whitwell said, he's tweeted it out like many other people have from what we said last night. Old Trafford was there, so we were going to make a big step up. We were not ready. These 5 weeks, everyone has praised our evolution, and I am always saying the same thing. We are not near. Today was not a mistake of one individual. It was a mistake. It was a team. The feeling. He's scared of going back to what it was last season. When the coach comes out and says the feeling he got was the last season's feeling, that really hits home, doesn't it? That's the hardest part to take from last night. And there is so many bits of conversation and subplots and different issues that we've got in that team with individual players. The manager, the coaching, why has he got so many defenders on the pitch? A lot of people are picking up on that. I think what it did do, the one thing that you could probably take from it is, just going into December now, you could actually look at this and say, well, it's quite clear that what Manchester United have to do in the transfer window if they can. But again, are they going to do that? Are Manchester United prepared to go and break the bank to salvage this season? Because the way that Ruben Amorim is talking, he also said last night, and it was more of a concern for me, we're not ready to challenge for the top places. Are we giving up on Europe? Are we giving up altogether because of one bad result last night? You can't come out and say them things. And maybe that was a heat of the moment comment from Ruben Amorim last night, but that's the feeling that was going around Old Trafford. So I kind of forgive him for coming out and saying that, because it was the same with everyone last night. No one could understand how Manchester United came out onto that pitch last night under the floodlights at Old Trafford, the record that we've had at Old Trafford all season, and then to be booed off the pitch at half-time and at full-time when the season, it hasn't been that bad, shows you exactly how poor that team was last night. To be booed off. Honestly, like 10 men, yes. And by the way, that's the first time I think ever that Manchester United has lost a game when a player has been sent off for the opposition. The records were tumbling again last night. David Moyes' first win in 33 attempts at Old Trafford with any team. Manchester United losing for the first time at Old Trafford when a player's gone down, when a team has gone down to 10 men. It was just an awful night. An awful night, and I'm sure everybody else who was there would have felt the same. The feeling around, I couldn't believe that Man United were being booed off the pitch. Like, it wasn't great, but that was the first poor first half of football that Manchester United have played out all season. We've been good this season at Old Trafford. We have. And I meant Old Trafford at home, not away from home, because we have seen some stinkers. I know that. But at Old Trafford, for that crowd to boo the players off, not even at full-time. We did at full-time, obviously, but at half-time, when the game is still in the balance and you could go back in and reassess, you'd expect the United fan base, after what they've seen so far this season and the encouraging signs, to get behind that team, galvanise them, have a bit of a cheer as the players come off. Come on, let's go again. Let's get this sorted at half-time now. The fact that they booed them off told its own story. It said to me last night that Old Trafford crowd did not believe in them players that were on the pitch. It did not believe in it. It was that easy to go back to last season and feel the same way as last season after watching one half of football. It was scary. It was absolutely scary. It was really bad last night. And I've seen many people going off on one, ranting about the performance and everything. It felt angry last night outside. And nearly every single person walking out, everyone I spoke to, everyone in the stadium, there was a real rage in the air. It was a crap atmosphere. It was, and it started off so well, and it was so good to actually be in there last night, feeling at the start of it like something could start here and could happen. And Ruben Amorim nailed it in what he said there when he said Old Trafford was there to see we were going to make the next big step. He knew what it was last night. He knew how important it was last night. And to be fully prepared and have more preparation time and be at home and go into that game and perform that way from the get-go, like Amorim said, is absolutely disgraceful. An absolute embarrassment is what that football team was last night. And that is me just being completely brutally honest after a night's sleep. Well, I didn't sleep that well after that performance last night, but letting the dust settle and letting everything just calm down a little bit and looking at things, it was awful. It was absolutely pathetic from Manchester United last night. And I've not seen one person come out and defend this team in any way, shape or form. And that, again, is the biggest surprising thing in this. You'll always have people who come out and say, well, this happened and that happened and we can forgive this. But it was so different last night. And again, I know I keep on going on about this, but it just felt like they weren't even prepared last night, the Man United fan base, to forgive any mistake. It was like, this is it. You've got us here now. We're okay with that. We're happy with that. Do not let us down. Do not go back to what it was before. If you do, you are going to be absolutely slaughtered. And they did. And they were slaughtered. And they deserve absolutely every single ounce of critique that is coming their way. Every single man in a red shirt. And there were some players that probably don't deserve it as much as each other. But yet again, I'll go back to Ruben Amorim and just say this. It wasn't one individual. It was a team. He had a feeling we were going back to last season. And that pretty much summed it all up for me. There's no other way of describing what Manchester United performed like last night, but exactly the same as what we did last season. No surprise with 9 of the starting 11 last night being the team from last season. We played like last season. The subs that came on off the bench were last season. Nothing new last night. There's only so much Senna Lamens and Mbumo, the only 2 new players in that starting lineup last night, could do. And honestly, Mbumo was giving absolutely everything, and the effort was there. Don't get me wrong. Like, every single player had the right fitness levels and the right attitude going into it and will to win, but the quality was devoid, and the confidence and the lack of bravery is the right words. Like, there was no one willing to take a risk last night. Not one player was willing to take a risk. And as soon as that red card was given to Idrissa Gueye, and we was all laughing at the time, I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, we got away because Everton started well. Everton were a better team from start to finish last night. They were better than us with 11, they were better than us with 10. And that alone tells you how embarrassing it was in terms of the players' attitude to doing the right things. Ruben said, like, the phases of play, he expected more control. He expected United to dominate the game and create chances. But the lack of decision-making in the final third, like he said, was there for everybody to see. And unfortunately for us now, it really does feel like it is last season. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on that and why I'm talking about this in a minute. But I want to get into the comment section now and just get your thoughts on this early doors, because I think there's going to be a lot of strong opinion in the show this morning. And I said it a minute ago, I am prepared for what is coming here as well. So you can go in on me, and if you want, I have been positive. I have always tried to spin that narrative and say that this is moving in the right direction. I still think there are big parts that are. And again, last night was a big kick in the gut for me. Honestly, I've never felt so deflated. And there were some horrible moments last season. And my voice is actually all right, which tells you where I'm at right now. I couldn't even bring myself to get angry last night in the stadium. You know when you feel like you're fighting for something, and when mistakes happen, you feel like you've got that anger, you've got that real connection, and it enrages you even more. I didn't have that last night, and that, for me, is the most worrying thing. The fact that I disconnected myself from that team last night, halfway through the game. And that's why I did the vlog at the end. And I wanted to make a point about doing the vlog while the game was going on, because I didn't care. At that point, I'd given up. And I knew what I was watching. I know my team. And I know that team from last season. And that's what hit hardest last night. It really did hurt me. And as a United fan, I just went so far backwards. It was just painful watching them. It was. And it's still not changed this morning. The night's gone by now. We're on the day after, and it's still the same for me. It's absolutely destroying me inside right now. Right, we've got plenty of super chats to get into here, so I want to get through plenty of these. We've got loads of time today, everybody, so get into the comment section and let's have this out. Let's make a full show of your opinions on this as well. Block says, didn't go to the game. Am I allowed now, mate? Yes, you can go now because we've had a bad performance without you there, mate. Last night was proof that I am not a jinx. We are crap when I'm there, even worse when I'm not. It was horrendous. Worst performance of the season, wasn't it? Right on the year anniversary of Ruben Amorim as well. It was like, why do we do this? Why is it scripted for Manchester United to be this way? Brian says that blaming the players is pointless. The manager is responsible for tactics, team selection, and clearing the deadwood. Players take his lead. His methods don't work, and the Bruno experiment has failed. Look, I'm not going to go in as much on Ruben Amorim as a lot of other people are. You know that's probably going to be the way that I am with this anyway. I'm going to defend Ruben Amorim to a certain degree. There are issues that I've got, and I'll bring them up in a minute as well. But Brian, like you said there, like everyone is completely welcome to their opinions on what went wrong last night. And Brian will not be the only one that's got an issue with Ruben Amorim last night. There was flaws in what he did last night. I'll admit that. I just cannot get over these players' mentalities. It really destroys me. But then again, like Brian says, he picks the team. But then again, did he have anything else that he could have played last night? We'll get into some of the players in a minute, actually. Ray, thank you very much. They did it again. They pulled out another stinker when we needed them to go on. When we needed them. I got no hope for Crystal Palace now, says Ray. Has it affected you that much, like Ray says there, everybody, that you're now going into the next game and you're absolutely bricking it? You don't know what's coming, and again, you're waiting to see. There's no hope from what you've witnessed in the previous game for you to take into the next one, like a positive or a phase of play or something that you've seen, or a connection or a partnership that's starting to really develop. We're not taking anything away. Oh, it's awkward. It's awkward, isn't it? It's just hard after witnessing that performance to really feel like we've got anything that could get us the 3 points against Palace. Ruben said he's going to deal with this at training tomorrow. Well, I think maybe taking a step back and not going full-on rage monster mode like he did last season, smashing TVs and calling this the worst team ever. Look at that. I mean, seriously, I think maybe he's learned from that from last season, and he's going back and taking a moment and then coming back tomorrow. Honestly, I'd still be going in to Carrington this morning with the same attitude and the same anger as walking off that pitch last night if I was Ruben Amorim. My test says Amorim needs to go. His obsession with 3-4-3 shows how inept he is. Yesterday was a great opportunity to play Bruno as the 10, but his stubbornness got in the way. In terms of, we'll get onto that in a minute with the midfield as well. Thanks for the super chats, and thank you everyone so far who has done. Stephen has just renewed his membership. Thank you, but leadership group not motivating the team on the field. Very true as well. At least Idrissa Gueye shit, is that? I don't know what you mean there by that, Ant. Ineos have a decision to make, says Tom. In what way, Tom? In terms of spending money, Ruben Amorim? They're not going to get rid of him. We already know this. We're actually in a better position than we was when everyone was really questioning what Ruben was going to do. I always said I don't like the formation, and last night absolutely proved why it won't ever work. That was Carl. Right, let's get into the actual players there. In terms of what Ruben could have done last night, the fact that we had Mazraoui at wing back, that doesn't work. Everybody knows that we cannot play Mazraoui at wing back. When you're going up against a David Moyes low block, mistake number one. There was options there. Playing Ahmad at the 10 instead of putting Mount there and playing Ahmad at wing back and letting him carry on that partnership with Bryan Mbeumo really affected the first half performance for Manchester United. There was no connection. Bryan Mbeumo and Mazraoui do not work. Mazraoui cannot cross the ball. He's a great defender as a back three defender in this system. So if you're going to stick to the system, Mazraoui was mistake number one. And playing Ahmad at the 10 instead of Mount was number 2. I disagree with the comment that came up before him playing Bruno at 10. There is no one else to come into that midfield, because last night, Kobbie Mainoo, for me, could have played his last game. The guy came on the pitch and ghosted through it. Didn't show any desire, any efforts. He was bowled off the ball. He was weak as piss. Sorry for swearing in the morning, but he was. Look, if we're going to go in and other players are going to go on, I mean, and you could maybe say that Ruben Amorim has not played the likes of Xerxes and Mainoo enough for them to come on and really believe that they've got a chance even if they play well in the game. You could argue that point. I get it. I do. But if you're a Manchester United Academy player and you see your team losing to 10-man David Moyes Everton, and you come on and you put the performance in that Kobbie Mainoo did last night, then you're not going to get much respect or much support from this fan base. I thought he was dreadful. Moving on to the next mistake. Could you have played a false 9? Could you have actually put Mason Mount in there and played Mainoo from the start as a 10? Could you have played Mainoo, Mbeumo and Mount and played that false 9 that we have done before? Matthias Cunha being out last night really affected Manchester United. It really did. Joshua Zirkzee played his last game for Manchester United last night for me again. Him and Kobbie can go. I honestly don't think they're going to work. And if we're going to back Ruben Amorim, and I suppose that's the debate, isn't it? Do you want to cling on to players like Kobbie and Zirkzee who might work in a better formation if another manager comes in? Do we want to go there? Have you seen enough from Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee that these players deserve more of a chance and Ruben is wrong in not playing them more? Because this is where we're at right now. We're deciding over the players again and the manager. Can the manager do any more than what he has done? Can he change this system to make it work better? I think what we could say from last night was, why are you still got 5 defenders on in that first half. You really should have made the change there and then. Mazraoui needed to come off. He did. At least he made the sub at half time. But then, again, it just felt like we'd lost momentum walking off at half time. Could he have really been cutthroat and gone for it and tried to take the game away from Everton earlier by making a change? Look, it's easy to say this now because the game failed. But if United managed to win that game last night, no one would have been talking about what happened with certain substitutions. And hindsight's a wonderful thing and all that. I get that. I do. I really do get it. And I'm not defending him here at all in that way. But you're looking at that bench and you're thinking, who is going to come on and change that game for you? It's not the right game to bring a Shea Lacey on. Kobbie Mainoo really doesn't want to be here. He's made that clear. Mason Mount should have started. I don't know why he didn't. That's a mistake. He's given Xerxes his chance and he's shit the bed completely. He's awful and just isn't up for Premier League football. I'm sorry. And again, who else is there to play midfield? Ugarte? No one wants him in the team anyway. So realistically, what we're coming down to here is squad depth. And the biggest concern that we've got here is the fact that we are seeing now, without Sesko and Cunha, how poor this side actually is. And there's no cutting edge. There's no desire up front there. And that is the worry, because the 2 best performers for United last night, and this is pushing it a little bit here as well, were Mbeumo and Ahmad. They were the ones that gave more than anybody last night, in my opinion, and tell me if you disagree. Get into the comments section. Both of them are gone maybe in a couple of weeks' time. And this team, trying to perform without them two, yeah, like you can see where it really is concerning for the future for Manchester United with that. That there is the big issue that I've got. The biggest issue that I've got with this team, and I don't know if Ruben Amorim can actually turn them around or not. It's going to be interesting to see everything that happens on Sunday and the reaction we get after this. Like he said, he's going to deal with this in training. It's hard to blame Ruben Amorim for the amount of players that he's got available. The decision that was made on Matheus Cunha, that really hurt us last night. No Benjamin Sesko. I mean, I think people would definitely take Benjamin Sesko over Joshua Zirkzee now, wouldn't they? Quite clearly showed last night how far out of his depth he is in this team and in this league, Zirkzee. So, yeah, it's hard to find a positive. It really is. Let's get some more comments in on this. Please get voting on the poll that we put up this morning as well. Who is more to blame for last night's horror show from United? Amorim or the players? At the moment, there is the majority, 58% of you are saying we blame the players more. Keep picking Fernandes, the fraud causes imbalance in the team. Some players must be sick of seeing their captain never getting subbed. Well, look, this is where you can blame Ruben Amorim. We can't blame Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Bruno Fernandes probably had the most significant efforts and goal last night. At least he tried. At least he tried to do something different. And I'm not defending him here because I thought Bruno was shit last night as well. And you know I'm always going to say it as it is. I thought he was awful, like everybody else was. There's no defence for him, and I'm not going to. But I'm not going to blame Bruno. I'll blame Ruben for playing him in that position. That's always going to be a problem for United. We'll win some games and we will lose some games. The first game this season where we've conceded a goal, well, no, actually, it's not the first game. It's the same as it always is, isn't it? The first goal is all important for Manchester United this season. And last night, I didn't even realise it. Again, 12 games in now. Every time Manchester United concede the first goal in a game of football, we lose. And that's every single game. We've got a 100% record of conceding the first goal and losing. Every game this season that we haven't got a point in is because we've conceded the first goal. We just don't have the mentality to deal with that. And that is the biggest concern for me out of all. Where are the players' heads at? What is going on upstairs? We do not have one wing-back in this team, so we are relying on full-backs to fill the gap. Why couldn't we just have played 4 at the back yesterday? It's easy to say that, isn't it, United FTW? It's all right saying it now. Again, I get it. It's worked for us the previous few weeks, though, and we've managed to get results out of it. But if Ahmad is not playing at wing-back, you can clearly see the problem that we've got. We needed to get that extra attacker on the pitch. Dargu is struggling. Dargu is struggling big time right now. He is. Mazraoui's not a wing-back either. Last night, we had the imbalance in midfield that we've always got, which we sometimes get past, like I said. But we didn't have the focal point. We didn't have the striker. We didn't have enough quality in that front three. We had no quality at wing back. I wanted to see Dargu improve. I wanted to see him get better, but he's too raw. And in games like that last night, he goes wanting. And when you're having to bring Dalot on for Dargu, I mean, that pretty much is the nail in the coffin, isn't it? Not wanting to have a go at Dalot. He wasn't in the team, and that was the right decision for me. But when that is your depth, and that's what you've got to bring on off the bench, you're going to struggle. And we did last night. We really struggled with creativity. I do wonder what on earth goes on at the training ground and in the manager's office when it comes to planning for games. We won't be finishing in the top 4, guys. Our midfield is woeful. Lots of people going in on that now as well. Xerxes, Shaw and Mazraoui should never play for United again, and Amorim should be sacked, says Promoto. Lots of harsh comments coming in here this morning, but I feel the anger, I feel the rage. I hope for the Crystal Palace game, if Manchester United will not sign a quality midfielder, Gomez or Anderson, and Semenyo in January, Manchester United will likely finish 8th or 9th in the table this season. And again, that is not good enough. It's not good enough. I've said this all along. Manchester United need European football. There's no excuse not to be in Europe this season. We cannot be that team that doesn't take advantage of not having European football. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. They need to get European football this season. If they don't, then they should all be punished for it. They should be deducted wages. They should be fined. This is how bad it is. This is how I feel in my head right now. And I know sometimes when the anger takes over, sometimes you don't make any sense. I get that. And right now, I think the players, honestly, where do they go from here? Where do they hide if they don't make European football this season? With all of the time off, with all of the recovery time, there is zero excuse. And honestly, if Ruben is coming out and saying that we are not good enough right now to challenge for the top places, he needs to turn that round in this season and get United up there. Because if he doesn't get European football by the end of the season, I think he gets the sack. I do. I don't think with what he has got there, the fixtures that he's got and the opportunity he's got here, I don't think that's acceptable. I'll give him till the end of the season. No problem at all. Because I know that Ineos are going to give him that. We've been worse than this in terms of results before, and they've fully backed him. So to lose one game and everyone's saying they should be making a decision and sacking Ruben, we know it's not going to happen. We can all say it and feel that way, of course, but we know that Ruben's not going to get sacked. Always the Dargu quality problem because he's just a defensive fullback. Mbeumo and Ahmad must play on the same side, and that partnership was broken up after malfunctioning at Spurs. I don't think it was malfunctioning at Spurs. I don't know why Ahmad was in that 10 position last night for Ruben, and I'm questioning Ruben on that one. That, I feel, was definitely the wrong decision. We didn't need to play Ahmad at 10 last night. We really didn't. We should have been at wing back and we should have played Mount in there. Mount, Mbeumo and Xerxes, and that, I think, would have been fine. I said before the game, I tweeted it out, I said I'm excited, weirdly excited to see how this front three actually works because it was something new. God damn, I was shot straight back down. You could tell from the start that there was no connection in that team. Joseph says, for me, Sesko was never missing yesterday because I believe he was a poor signing as a striker. Maguire was missing yesterday because he is very good in the air. No, I believe that Sesko would have done a miles better job than what Xerxes did yesterday. And I think people are being very unfair on Benjamin Sesko still. He has only just started, and again, he is a young striker, and I think few people have mentioned it before as well, that Ruben's probably not fully convinced by him yet, and he's got to develop. I think he is more of a threat. And do you know what? If he had some of the chances that Xerxes had in the air, we might have seen Sesko burying some of them. Look, it's all if, buts and maybes. I get it, I know. And we can always say that easily afterwards. But still, I think Sesko would have been a better option for United last night. My God. Imagine if we kept Scholes out in favour of McClare. Amorim is doing this. Heaven can't get a game. Youth on the bench purely for PR while seniors fail. Would you want the pressure of this underperforming senior team to be thrown onto the academy players? Though is the way I would answer that back. That's for the super chat there from the beautiful game. Thank you for that, mate. I don't want to see the academy players come in at this moment because they've got to cover all of the crap that, like you just said, these first team players are failing with. It gets to this point where now you're this far into a season and you're looking at these players, you're looking at the senior players, and you want them in a way to try and dig themselves out of this because they're the ones who are going to take the blame at the end of it. Look, we've already destroyed some academy careers because we've desperately thrown these players in, hoping that they would change something in this team. But until we make the crucial decisions, which we know this club is really struggling to make, then we are going to continue to struggle for squad depth. Like I said it a minute ago, bringing Dallo on for Dorgu in hope that you are going to win. That alone tells you that we have not got enough there. Investment is needed in wing-back and in central midfield and another striker, and then you might be able to compete, I think, consistently a bit more. We have got a good team. We've got an alright team, but that's as far as it goes. And when the chips are down mentally, like we said before, unless we score the first goal, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. And I'm sick of saying the same things. It feels like I've just gone back to last season again. And the fact that we can all talk here calmly because we know there's no point in even actually getting angry about it is the biggest concern of all. James is in the chat. James was there at Old Trafford last night. His video is up on YouTube as well. Mount has been on corners from now on when he plays too. Miles better than Bruno from set pieces. His corners were good last night. Again, like why Mason Mount was not starting that game is beyond me. It really is. It's again, Bruno Fernandes on the set pieces. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Take him off them. Take him off and let somebody else have a go. For God's sake, Mason Mount's delivery was miles better. And Mason Mount has been one of our better players this season. And it still baffles me how he wasn't in the starting lineup last night. And that is on Ruben Amorim. That is fully on Ruben Amorim. By the way, everybody, Lenny Yoro last night. Anyone concerned with Lenny Yoro's performance last night? I was really disappointed in Lenny Yoro last night. And again, more concerning signs. Second season in, please don't, because I think this kid has got ability and I want to believe in him. And I still think he'll come good, but that was worrying last night. That's like we'd not done our homework last night. Why the hell are you playing Dewsbury Hall inside? You play him outside. It's basic defending. You don't let this guy turn inside and have a free effort on goal. I know he tried to play the ball and he miskicked the ball, but still, defending 101, you make the player go wide. You force him wide away from the danger area. It's like we just laid the path for him. There's the red carpet. Have a nice, comfortable walk towards the goal and have a shot. When you've got an extra man in your team, you're letting a player like that waltz through your midfield. Yet again, Bruno Fernandes not able to tackle. Why? Because he's not an effing 6. And this is what we're going to come up against all of the time. It's great when it's working because you've got players that can get the foot on the ball and control the game and pick out certain passes. But if you concede that first goal and you're not up for the fight, we haven't got battlers in there. The issue with bringing Casemiro off because he's on a yellow card, I have got big problems with this. Ruben needs to stop doing this as well. My God, yellow cards are part of the game. He's in there as a destroyer. He's supposed to be in there doing what he's doing. Because Casemiro has been red carded against Chelsea for that moment of madness, he's now being brought off every time he gets a yellow card. And we lose quality instantly because of it. Cobby goes into the midfield role again and fails. It's poor. you leave Casemiro on the pitch. At least he could head the ball. We didn't win one header yesterday. We looked weak. We looked small. It looked like the land of the giants yesterday, Everton against Man United. It was really bad. But yeah, concerned with Yoro, concerned with his performance there in that back line yesterday. Didn't look comfortable at all in the game. And obviously the midfield, like we've just said there, the situation with Casemiro. And you can clearly see now what he thinks of Manuel Ugarte, can't you? Not bringing him on, a natural holding player. Instead he's bringing Kobe on. I know that we're trying to win the game and Kobe could probably give you more. But at that point, you need to probably change shape and go for it, don't you? But no, we played Kobe as the holding midfielder next to Bruno. At points, I didn't know who the 6 was because Bruno was so deep. Him and Kobe Mainoo would have basically sat in front of the back 3 when we're trying to get the ball because they've retreated so far back because Everton had a low block, 9 men behind the ball. And just to get on the ball, they were coming deep. And it was isolating the forwards, and there was no connection. The gap between forwards and midfield last night was absolutely ridiculous. And that is something that Ruben is in charge of. He needs to have a plan B in changing that shape. If you're going to bring Kobe Mainoo on, you need to change the shape to make it work for that player. And that might have been the right way to go. More man in midfield, more of an attacking midfield, might have helped Manchester United. But no, he kept the 3 up top and then stayed with the wide wing backs. And like he said, all we were doing was putting crosses into the box. And Xerxes just not going to do enough, is he? He never was. And he never is going to be able to. They had no idea what they were doing last night. They had no idea of how to break down that Everton side. And I don't think Ruben knew what to do. I don't think he had enough on the bench either to change it. It's not any one player's fault last night. It was down to Amorim's tactics and lack of game management. Lack of flexibility and poor substitutes, poor recruitment, poor manager, poor ownership. No, I disagree with that, to be honest. I don't think it's that bad. Poor ownership, not poor recruitment, I don't think. The fact that we was missing half of our recruitment from the summer last night kind of proves that the recruitment isn't the issue. The recruitment was good and we missed it last night, so disagree with that. Tactics, you can definitely come in on them a little bit. And obviously, again, the problem we've got in-game management from Ruben Amorim when we're losing is an issue, which I can't defend him on. Again, it is there, isn't it, for everyone to see. And he's not changing it. He's not doing enough in-game when it's not working for me. Bruno on the first goal at fault twice though. One far right, didn't cut the pass, and second, weak tackle, then Yoro, a crap tackle. Yep, like I said, just walls through the midfield. Decision making for Manchester United last night. Ruben touched on that as well, actually. It was shocking, it was. Tim says, walking around the pitch, backward passes, no urgency. We were playing 10 men for F's sake. Grealish is hardened after frequent trips to Vegas. I don't know what that was about. I just read that one because it was under the previous comment. But Grealish was a wind-up last night, wasn't it? It was a perfect game for him last night, that. My God. Adam, that's the first thing you said today. I disagree with. Casemiro was dire. I don't think he was, mate. I really don't. Most players were too slow, not up for it. Terrible. Casemiro needs to go. To be honest, though, mate, when you're against 10 men and you're putting balls into the box, who would you rather be in there? Kobe Mainoo or Casemiro? I'm taking Cas every single time, and that's the point I'm making. If you are going to continuously pump balls into the box, you need someone who can get his head on it. And Casemiro's got a track record for that. Why did De Ligt not start pushing further forward as well as another option? These are the little things that people are picking up on. Them tactical little tweaks in game that you could do that he just wasn't willing to. It just didn't look like he changed anything last night, Ruben. And that was hard. That was hard to watch because we want to defend him. I want to defend him, but I can't. When I'm seeing that and I'm seeing the substitutions he's making, I'm really starting to scratch my head with it, and that's the concerning bit. If he had more on the bench, maybe it would have been a different game. If we had a better starting lineup, maybe. But injuries are part of football. If you don't have the right squad depth, the biggest concern for me going forward is that this is going to now be a common occurrence going into the next month's worth of football when we really need to start picking up points. And missing Mbeumo, oh my God. I don't know. Honestly, until we start playing without him, I'm not going to know. But I kind of already got the feeling that this is going to go badly if Mbeumo isn't in that side. And to miss him for a minimum of 4 weeks, I don't know where we go from there or how he plays it. You'd have brought Ahmad in maybe, but he's gone for 4 weeks as well. And that's when you start to really look into what's coming up and start to fear as a United fan. Playing catch up today, being busy in work. Hope we are okay. FUTV Army slipped up last night. Every time we have a chance to make progress, we F it up. We do. We've had a chance to hit top 4 3 times this season and won none of them games. Funnily enough, it was the last 3 games where we had the chance to go into the top 4 and we did not take it. That's hard. It's hard to take that. You feel it's so deflating. Talking like that. Another super chat in from Anthony Flo says, I watched every Everton long ball and Beto won every header and they won nearly every second ball. Played us off the park, no intensity, no ideas. Ruben did say they dominated in their own way with 11 and 10 men. But yeah, it wasn't Beto, it was Barry for the majority. Barry was winning balls in the air and just bringing the other forwards into play. And Doy was the perfect player for Everton to hold on to the ball at the start of that second half and frustrate United. And by that time, then you're looking at that. Even when them players come off, you're going, the momentum is with Everton here, and the belief is with Everton, and they'd earned that in the way that they played. Like Anthony says there, they won every single second ball. They won the first, they won the seconds, they wanted it more, they tackled harder, and they even were arguing with themselves and got a player sent off. They wanted it that much, and we still couldn't beat them, even when they imploded. Again, that probably is why United were booed off. This is why that atmosphere last night was so toxic and horrible. It was full of rage and anger with that team last night. And it was strange, like I said, because it was the first time this season at home that we'd really underperformed. And that was our worst performance, home or away, this season, by a country mile. The fans have got no patience, is what I took from it. No patience at all with this team. Absolutely nothing. Adam, both mates, ammo shooting blanks and players lying down, says Declan. Coach is too inexperienced. Fine about seeing a change in the summer. Hope we get Europa League anyway. We'll flunk in Champions League like last time. But from what Amorim said, these players are not doing what he asked these players to do. Go off track, and they're under little pressure. He probably looked at that last night and thought himself, like, these players have thrown me under the bus here a little bit, because I'm going to get absolute pelters for this now when we finish the game. And he did, and he probably deserves most of the criticism that he gets as well. He's the manager of Manchester United, and that's always going to be there, isn't it? So he's going to have to accept it. But inside Carrington today, you'd expect him to be absolutely ripping the heads off them players, because that was massively unacceptable last night. And it's so hard to talk about Manchester United and going so far backwards. Heavy Moyes would now do a good job for us if Amorim gets sacked. Xerxes needs a bolt of lightning to get going. Yeah, poor last night. Just reading through all of these comments that we can. Cobby has shown he doesn't care about the club. Time to sell, says William. I really don't think we will miss Ahmad. Yes, he tries, but his decisions to always shoot when we have players in the box, I don't think it was that bad. That Garnacho attitude, bench him, make him play for his place again. I didn't have a problem with Ahmad last night. I disagree with that one there. Everyone's got their opinions on certain players, and I think it's all going to sort of boil over today, because it was such a horrible performance last night. But I'm not dropping Ahmad. Ahmad at wing back for me all day long. I haven't got a problem with him. I think we will miss him. Is it amazing how Ineos and the manager have lowered the standards at this club? And I thought the Glazers were bad. Have they? How can we blame Ineos for lowering the standards? Is that because they're not sacking Amorim? Is that how you mean by that? I could understand the point of you saying that. But we'll see at the end of the season. If Ruben gets us into Europe, then that was the target. So we've still got that opportunity. Let's not forget, Manchester United are still only, 3 points off the top 4, I think it is, or something like that. So it's not like we're out of this. And as long as we're in touching distance, Ruben will keep his job. We just need to get Europa League football at least next season. Otherwise, I think I will be in that camp of saying that he probably should be let go. But I will give him to the end of the season to see if he can get his European football and then make that call. I just don't know how Manchester United financially survive if we don't have European football. And to be honest, I don't think I could survive another season without European football. It's depressing. It really is. Like, United need European football. Let's get some more comments in here as well. ATKO says, stay in the game. A phrase for big matches, then nick a goal. We can't even stay in the game at home versus a struggling side. No leadership in defence. The basics apply at the highest level. Euro is soft. Euro's a concern. Amorim striker last night, pre and during the game. The stubbornness. Is that a stink? No, he says Amorim stinker last night. Sorry. Amorim stinker last night, the pre and during the game. The stubbornness, the lack of adaptability. 5 at the back versus 10 men. The players were bad, but Amorim last night was honestly was sackable. He will say it's not the system, it's the attitude of the players again. No, you know what's coming. You know the response that we're going to get from this, and then it's all going to be judged off what he gets from these players now. If he cannot get the mentality changed in these players, then he will get the sack. How does he change the mentality of these players? Does he change his system to make them feel a little bit more comfortable and get more out of them? Does he say, look, this is it. I've got the confidence of the board. You're going to be gone at the end of this season if you don't start getting used to that. How does he change this? What does he do? Is he too stubborn to actually change his shape and do something a bit different to bring other players in that could play in a certain other formation? Bruno would be better. Mainu would be better. We just had our best run that we've had in bleeding God knows how long. And then after one absolutely awful performance, and I mean it was awful, we're now bringing up the system again, where we wasn't talking about it the last 5 weeks. And Ruben said that, didn't he, in the press conference? He said everyone was talking and praising us, and I kept on saying, I was the one that was saying, we're not ready, we're not there yet. It's like he's been saying we've been getting away with it. If we've been getting away with it, then how the hell are we supposed to move forward? This is the thing. I'm all for a manager trying to play things down and not get overexcited, but still, it's like you're giving the excuse for underperforming when you do that. And it's like, yes, that we got the win, but it still wasn't right. It still wasn't right. We've had a good run of games, but we weren't doing the right things in them games still. We're nowhere near ready. And then when we lose a game, we can just go to the next level and say, well, we're not ready to challenge for the top places. Yeah, we are. We needed to beat Everton at home against 10 men, and we would have been in the top 4. So that's where I cannot, again, defend Ruben Amorim on that side of it. And just look, spade to spade, say it as it is. And that's what I'm going to do with this. We are able to challenge for the top places. We cannot just say that because we lost the game badly last night. All we needed to do was beat a team at home that we always beat. And for 80 minutes, try and do it against 10 men. And we couldn't. So forget about what was said before. Forget about not being there and getting away with some wins and some draws and getting points out of it. The mentality's there to actually bounce back and get them points against Nottingham Forest and against Spurs. So the mentality side of things is there in a way. You had Everton at home to beat, and then you could have easily said that you can challenge for the top places, because a third of the way through the season and you're in the top 4, you are challenging for places. I'm sorry, you are. You cannot tell me that Manchester United right now should not be in that top 4 with the games that we've had and the games that we've got in front of us. He has got one chance here to try and turn this around now. And by the end of this next 7 games that we've got to make it halfway to the season, if he isn't in the European places then I think the conversation will go in one direction. Because after the new year, you've got Burnley away, Leeds away, then you've got City and Arsenal back-to-back. I think by the end of January, if money isn't spent and we're not in the mix or nowhere near the European places then, and I can see that horrible negative vibe creeping back in again. And I don't just want to have this covered up by another cup run either. Yes, an FA Cup would be nice, but come on. Seriously, we should be, with the amount of games that we've got this season and the rest time and recovery time in between and time to prepare, able to get into a European place this season. Surely, we have to be able to get that at least. Let's get some more comments in here. Another outburst from me. They just keep on coming. Still thinking back to things last night and then what was said, and that did rile me. That Ruben saying we're not ready to challenge for the top places. If you beat Everton at home, mate, you're there. Come on. I'm not having that one at all. And then you were saying we had an easy set of games. I knew with Moyes that we would struggle. Also, Palace would win easy against this team. Several players need to go along with Ruben. Why not youth? Because I don't want the youth to be blamed for this shit season. They should not be brought through unless we are ready to bring them through. And the first team players don't know the system comfortably yet, do they? I quite clearly see that last night. And yeah, we have got an easy run of games. No one's going to convince me that it's not. I'm sorry. You've got Everton at home. You win that. Palace, yeah, maybe a draw because of the way they are at home. And then you're saying that we can't beat Wolves or West Ham? No. I mean, we lost to both of them last season, so you could easily say, no, it is a struggle. But really, are we about to say that Manchester United have got tough games because it's Wolves and West Ham and we lost to them last season? Is that how far we are now? Is that how low we are? If they're our standards, then we're never going to get into the top half of the table. Never mind European places. No excuse. They now need to go out and beat Palace, West Ham and Wolves to try and convince me that there is something there. If we win them 3 games in a row, Man United will probably be back in the bleeding top 4 again and the whole conversation will change. But after watching Manchester United struggle to beat a 10-man Everton at home last night, the confidence is as low as it's going to go. It would take 3 or 4 wins in a row to actually bring this fan base back around again. 1 win isn't going to convince anybody. 2 wins, you might get a little bit more upbeat. 3, you're starting to think again, right, okay, we're back at it. Can we go again now? You get the 4th, and then you're fully convincing everybody again, aren't you? But are you confident right now after what you watched last night that that can happen with this Man United side? And that's the problem that we've got. No, we're not. And the old worrying signs are there for everybody to see, and they're there again. We're at home, so I seriously don't understand why we won't go all out attack. It's just mentality. It's just mentally we're so down whenever we concede. Yeah, dealing with the adversities again is what the problem is. Something that we said so many times last season. KB, I do another show over on Big Up where fans can actually come on and talk. We do a call-in show. We might do something like that. I'll let you know with the content and what's coming up later on this afternoon as well. We might do something tonight on this one where fans can have their say. We'll see. We've got Champions League stuff, so it's up to you. Do you want to talk on Big Up or do you want to do something on Football Talks watching Champions League? We'll decide all of that later on as well. Some of them shouldn't be shipped out. Should have been shipped out long ago. No fight, no passion, and no heart for the badge. Yeah. That one from Gems there. There is that horrible feeling inside, isn't there, that we're just going to be dealing with the same players again after the next transfer window, and then even after the summer. We are obviously not ready for the top. We can't beat 10-men Everton at home. We are really not ready. How did the players not step up and slap them? Don't know, Andrew. That's the mystery, isn't it? Thank you, everybody, for all the likes, by the way, and the super chats on the show this morning. Really appreciate it. It's good, and honestly, I don't know how I would survive without you guys all being here and us being able to debate this and talk about it again. It's hard, isn't it? It's really, is anyone else really, really suffering with this right now like I am? Because it's paining me right now to talk about United after watching them last night. And thank God we've actually got the community that we've got here on Forever United TV to try and handle this and get through it, because I would be struggling today. I'd be an angry man today. I really would. But look, we're through it. Part 1 is done. I'll be back with all the other news later on as well, everybody. Thank you, mods, for controlling the chat again there, everybody. Don't forget to check the links out in the description as well. Our special on Legend London is there as well. Top link in the description, everybody. Get on that. And yeah, we will be back later on. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show this morning. I'll catch up with you in a bit. I'll bring you all the up-to-date news that is coming out today. I think there is already news circulating, so stay tuned perhaps for lunchtime today. There will be more content coming up there. Quickly, super chat Justin right at the end. Lose next 3, we could be bottom 5, and that all of a sudden is the vibe, and that's from Ant, that creeps in after a performance like last night. It does affect you, doesn't it? It really does. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all later on. Have a good, well, as good a Tuesday as you can after that crap last night.